Today I fucked up by obliterating my wife's fish. Happened last night. Wife's 8-year-old very large goldfish was passing away. Had dropsy, was suffering, and was on the verge of death. Wife and I looked into the symptoms and there was practically no hope of him making a recovery, so she asked me to euthanize him. Looking into methods, it seemed pretty agreed upon that the most effective and quick way to euthanize a fish was blunt force trauma. Now, when I was a kid my family were huge anglers, and I was designated as the fish killer when it was time to cook them. Back then, I was told to slam them on the ground as hard as I could. Well, my 8-year-old body wasn't strong enough to kill them instantaneously, so I had to do it multiple times. Honestly, it kind of fucked me up a little. Flash forward to last night, I didn't want that happening again and I wanted it to be painless. I asked my wife to leave the room because she was very upset, and I chose to do the deed by putting the fish in a plastic grocery bag and slamming it on the counter as hard as I possibly could. The poor fish was absolutely obliterated. The force ripped open the bag and sprayed bits of what used to be a goldfish in every direction. Told my wife to stay upstairs and she started getting suspicious, so she comes down after 5 minutes and it's just everywhere still. On the counter, on the stove, on the fridge, on the freaking Christmas tree we still have up. I was still finding pieces of it this morning. Wife was aghast and traumatized. Cried until she went to bed. Too long did not read. I euthanized my wife's dying fish quickly but in the most visually traumatizing way possible. On the plus side, a piece of your beloved goldfish will live on with you forever. Or until the smell helps you to find it. Edit. Wow, this blew up like OP's goldfish. Welp, it died a warrior's death. Good on ya, M8. This is both sad and hilarious at the same time. Rest in pieces, fish. Edit. Yes, rest in Pisces. GIF. Emote, free_emotes_ pack. Table_flip. I didn't think of it at the time. And thank you for the awards, I didn't expect my silly comment to come this far. I made it, Mom. GIF. Emote, free_emotes_ pack, joy. Task failed successfully? Pick out a Bob the Goldfish memorial plant at the nursery. Dig a hole in the backyard. Place Bob in hole. Immediately pulverize him with a blunt garden implement. Plant the plant in the newly fertilized hole. Bob will now live forever. To Valhalla friend. Smashes the absolute fuck out of you. Hey, at least you know it was fast. From the fish's viewpoint it was, hey, I'm in a bag blank. It was you who suffered the, crap moment. Yeah, I think you overcompensated for your youthful fish slamming failures. Don't worry, we've all been there. Today I fucked up by leaving my headlights on while getting busy in the back of the car. This happened last night. I drove to a nearby town to see a regular hookup as we both needed some stress relief. We decided to explore our risky public kink by parking in a dark corner of a superstore car park. Every little helps. We picked a dark secluded spot and I reversed into the bay. And I thought I was oh so clever by leaving the headlights on so the glare would stop any passers by seeing directly into the car. We started helping each other out with some stress relief, quickly moving to the back seats of the car where we managed a good range of positions, including a very interesting 69, within the constraints of a small city car. The windows fogged up pretty quickly and we were grateful for the extra privacy, but my mind was distracted and not thinking about the fact my headlights were still on. 2 hours pass, we've exhausted all the positions we can contort ourselves into and I'm starting to think about my 35-minute drive home. At which point I slip into the driver's seat, turn the key, and realize the battery is flat. He thinks I'm kidding at first, until I start Googling how to jump-start a dead car and seriously consider asking him to get out in the freezing cold wind to give it a push. Of course my complimentary breakdown cover from when I bought the car elapsed last year. We managed to laugh about it and make the most of the situation by walking to get chips from a nearby takeaway while waiting for breakdown assistance to arrive. I was shivering with cold and so grateful to the breakdown guy who arrived within an hour that I kept offering him some of my chips. He got the car going within a couple of minutes and I got home safely, dropping off my hookup on the way with some cheesy chip kisses. Too long did not read. I met up with my regular hookup for some car sex in a dark secluded car park, left the headlights on and our sexy evening ended with a flat car battery and waiting for breakdown assistance in the freezing cold. You need to buy a jump starter pack. You can get a decent one for $75. Store it under the back seat next to the condoms. GIF. Emote, free_emotes_ pack, grin. This is why I love TIFU. Although in your case it sounds like TIF up, down, sideways, around, over, under, etc. Translated for American audiences. Superstore car park Walmart parking lot. Reversed into the bay backed into the parking spot. 35-minute drive home around the corner. Battery is flat car battery is dead. Give it a push. Cars in UK are stick shift. You can jump-start a stick-shift car by pushing it from behind and popping the clutch. Complimentary breakdown cover roadside assistance. Get chips from a nearby takeaway. Got some fries at a fast food joint. Cheesy chip kisses sloppy cheese fries kiss. If you have a manual car you can always push jump it in the future. 2 hours of sex in a car sounds like literal hell. You wanna be in small car? Try Plymouth Horizon. That fucking car sucked for doing the deed. Holy fucking hell. And mine was manual, so when headlights ate the battery I just pushed started it and was good. My now wife learned something new that day. Last time I did that a cop came by right after we finished. I don't think he was waiting the entire time. I really hope he wasn't waiting the entire time. At least you didn't get caught by a cop, appropriately named Officer Nuttall, whilst being ridden on the back seat. Interestingly, I was also 35, but a male. Still am. Today I fucked up by trolling a scammer over the phone. I always get calls from scammers pretending that they're from the IRS. I typically choose to hang up immediately, but this particular day I had time. Lol. I was welcomed by an Indian woman who said that the IRS are investigating my account. Mind you, I don't live in America, so IDK why she would use the IRS. I decided to play along and was able to play off a pretty convincing, old grandma voice. Me and her go back and forth for nearly an hour before I used my regular voice and called her out for her scummy way of living. I definitely threw in some cuss words as well, and she was not happy. She was going off at me and throwing around cuss word combinations that I've never heard before. Mother bitch, you ass fuck mother bastard, etc. etc. Anyways, after I hung up I felt pretty good about what just happened until I started to receive 500 missed calls from different scammers in the past 12 hours. A couple of people also called me asking why I called them, so I'm assuming the scammer is using a number changer to use my number for scams too. The scammers are also calling in the middle of the night now, face with rolling eyes. Kinda annoying, but hope it dies down soon. Too long did not read. I fucked up by trolling a scammer and now the scammers are calling me non-stop. Took one for the team, less calls to us. Thanks soldier. Alright. Kinda embarrassing because I guess I fell for this scam but nothing happened. So a couple years ago I got woken up in the morning by one of these calls. In my still half asleep state I started panicking when I heard the IRS is investigating me for fraud. I went along with it, but I still hadn't given them any bank info. They were just asking how much I had in my bank account. At the time I was a broke college student living with my parents, and when I told them I had $80 in my bank account the man couldn't believe it. LMAO. He kept asking if that's the correct amount, and I kept saying yes. The motherfucker hung up on me. I guess I wasn't worth their time. LMAO. Second level fun, when they call answer, FBI field office. That usually gets a quick hang up and will filter back after a few times. Temporarily reroute your number to a fax, data line so they get the AOL feeling. After maybe a day or so you should be good. I once did this but opposite. They called me saying my Windows PC had a virus. So I spent the next 6 hours high off my ass just redialing and redialing and redialing. At one point I had 6 of my friends doing the same. Just rickrolling them every time they answered. You could tell by the different voices that answered there were maybe 20 of them. Eventually set up a suicide caller and forwarded all their numbers to appropriate authorities. I know damn well my doing had no impact on this, but I shit you not. Not even 4 weeks later I read a news article about a huge scam call operation that got shut down in India. Tried to recall the number and it was disconnected. This is basically what Kitboga does, a streamer, YouTuber. But he has a whole setup of voice changers, several phone numbers, virtual machines, etc. If you are into that stuff, scambaiting, give it a try, it's fun to watch. Next time you won't be such an ass fuck mother bastard. Laughing my ass off, how'd she even come up with something like that? You will have to change your number most likely. You could also try to block unknown numbers, but prepare for a ton of VM. People suck. Today I fucked up by flirting with my coworker. This foo happened last night. I have been on Bumble since about October now, and 90% of the time when I match with a guy there's no connection. Well, last night I matched with this really cute guy and we hit it off. Great, right? We are both software engineers, and so I decided to think of a witty opener related to programming. I thought of a cute Linux command that basically commands him to tell me a story about something that was on his profile. To make it extra nerdy, I converted it to hex so he'd have to do a little work to figure out what I was saying. He loved it and we hit it off, and had some playful banter about engineering-related stuff. We were texting back and forth pretty quickly and I'm sitting here giggling like a little schoolgirl. Well, here is the fuck up. His profile says he is a software engineer, but it doesn't have the company listed. I am also a software engineer and I will be starting a new job at company name next week, and I updated my profile to reflect that. As the banter continues, he eventually brings up my company and says, "So you work at company name, eh? You know, they only hire top talent. Like me." Long story short, I am the new hire on his team and we will be working directly with each other. He knew this and was messing with me. So in short, I'll be starting my very first engineering job on Monday and I've already flirted with someone on my team. I am so unbelievably embarrassed. The tragic part is, he's the first guy I've met on Bumble in a good while that I actually felt like I would have a connection with, but at least I know now that I will have a good friend at work. Too long did not read. I unknowingly flirted with my coworker on Bumble before my start date at a new job. Edit. I did not expect this to blow up. I am glad that everyone can laugh with me at this wholesome foo. Just thought I'd make it clear though, I am not going to pursue anything as I literally just met him and my career comes first. I wouldn't want to make anything weird. While I felt embarrassed and like I foo, I am simultaneously stoked that I just get to have an awesome teammate at a job that I worked so hard to get. Things could be way worse. I wouldn't say you did anything wrong and I don't think this should be an issue. You should be fine as long as you play it calm and cool. Hallmark people. Write this down. Wait, does he actually like you? Or was he joking? You know, Barack and Michelle Obama met at work. She was his mentor and boss. You see how that turned out. Play it very cool. If there's no chemistry, and he's not interested, just laugh it off. Hopefully, he's not a gossip. Though I don't see what he stands to gain. If the culture supports nefarious gossip, you know what you need to do. Otherwise, this may be an excellent meet-cute tale that you can regale your friends and family with in the future. Take some deep breaths and note that, in the words of Michael Jackson, you are not alone. Me, a Linux nerd. I'm dying to hear this pickup line, lol. This is actually rather adorable. He probably does like you, but he may just be playing it cool until he felt it out with you. I would just try to bring it up to him in private, and if it doesn't work you can move on from it. This is no foo. Just play it cool, and see the positive. You already know someone in your new team. This is not a foo. It's actually wholesome, lol.